Hi friends, Simit here from InformedTrades.com. Today I want to talk about a product I recently reviewed called Tradespoon. Basically what it is options and stocks, but mainly options, signal and education service. So they give you trading signals and they teach you while they're giving you these signals. Informed Trades member Jason, who's been focused on product reviews, he'll go into the education component of it. What I mainly looked at is the signals and to see if if they're good, if the results are actually profitable. Based on my analysis, and I'll show you the spreadsheet that breaks down the numbers, from what I can tell, the signals are legit. Meaning, if you have an account you could probably use $5,000 in the account and trade it profitably, although in my opinion that you would have to take rather high risk on each trade. And you could probably, if you're willing to tolerate, let's put it this way, if you're willing to tolerate drawdowns of 30%, maybe even more, 40% on a $5,000 account, you could probably get away with it and trade profitably. And trade, even when you factor in the cost of the service, it's $200 per quarter, so we're looking at $800 per year. You could probably get away with a $5,000 account, factoring commissions on trades and all that stuff. If you are willing to tolerate, let's call it 35% drawdown. However, I think really trading with a $10,000 account is much better. So basically, from what I can say is, it seems like a legit service. Jason's going to go into the education service right now. I'm going to take a look at the spreadsheet, show the numbers that I did, looking at the calculations. They've got performance results posted on their site. I took those results, I put them into a spreadsheet, and crunched some numbers. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so on the screen right now, what you're looking at is a spreadsheet that takes all the numbers that Tradespoon has posted on their website. They posted their trade returns from 2012. Actually, I take it back. This is looking at trades placed from May 30th, 2013 to May 30th, 2014. So over 1 year. The returns on the website actually go back to 2012. I've just looked at the past 1 year here. During that time, they've placed 219 options trades. They send out a signal basically every day. Of those trades, 132 are winners and 87 are losers. Their average gain per trade is 22.26%. Now, that number, just to clarify what they mean by that number when they say percent gain per trade, they mean that the amount that if you take the gain divided by the amount risked, the average comes out to 22.26%. So that's not to say that the account balance increases by 22.26% on each trade, but rather the amount gained is 22.26% of the amount risked for every trade. That's the average for every trade. So we'll see exactly what that means when we take a closer look at the numbers. About 60.27% of the trades are winners. So what I did here in this spreadsheet here is I took a sample starting account balance, the amount risked per trade, expected percent gain to account balance per trade. So, and again, these numbers are only approximates. When you actually factor in compounding and things like that, it gets a little, and the way the commissions are calculated and the way the Tradespoon annual fee. Basically, the compounding of it is a really complicated thing, or can be really complicated, and can have some variabilities. So definitely, these numbers are meant to be approximates. And I would even, when we get to this net return column, you want a high number here because you're going to want to discount it even more, just to be on the safe side. But the idea here is, okay, so let's say on a $5,000 account balance, the amount of risk per trade, so that means if we're risking 2% per trade, that means $100. Now remember, if we're risking $100, we are going to be gaining $22 per trade, right? So then $22.26, because the expected gain is 22.26% of the amount risked. So if we're risking $100, we're going to gain 22.26% per trade. So that comes out 22.26% of $5,000 is 0.45% per trade. That's a small number. Year-end balance, we can extrapolate that by basically taking that to the 219th power. 0.45%, keep doing that 219 times. Then we realize we get a gross return of 164.54%. However, that does not factor in commissions. For commissions, I estimated that it'd be $15 per trade. Now, I'm really not sure on that number. later with $10,000 account balances and assuming that you're trading 2% or something like that, raise it to $20 per trade. A lot of that obviously depends on your broker. So maybe it's worth experimenting with a higher number here. Tradespoon annual fee, $200 per quarter for the elite package, which is what is being referred to here. And you can see some net returns. So even with a $5,000 account balance, now remember they're losing 40% of the time. So if you're risking 2% per trade, you could incur a pretty good drop down. Now you should still get a high balance. You should still be in the positive, but you may experience some psychological pain along the way. Now, just on the flip side, if you're risking just 1.25% per trade, you can still get 2.15%. And this whole spreadsheet also illustrates, the amount you risk per trade can make a huge difference in the net returns, right? So even just a 0.75% difference in the amount you're risking per trade, it might not seem that much, but when you factor in that you're trading daily, that you're going to be putting on 219 trades over the course of a year, it can end up being a pretty significant difference. So basically, if you're putting in $5,000, I really want a high number here because these numbers could be on the low side, other things could come in, the compounding could be a little off. But basically, if you're risking 2% per trade on a $5,000 account balance, you should have a really nice return with this system. They've got the results posted on the website. You can see the trades. It seems pretty legit to me. They're posting their numbers. From what I can tell, it seems plausible. Also, as Jason will talk about in the other part of this, in the next forthcoming part of this review, when you sign up, there's a whole educational system, and you can test trade their trades on a demo account. And Jason did that for 3 weeks, saw his account balance rise by 8%. And that sort of confirms that this, they're doing a few things right. From what we can see from testing it out ourselves, the results were positive. And just to illustrate, with a $10,000 account balance, now this is more to my liking. $10,000 account balance, if you're risking 2%, you basically double your money here. But if you're risking 1.5%, let's actually see what a 1.5% would look like. If we change this to 5, all of a sudden 1.5%. Now we're at 55.75%. So there's a lot of sensitivity based on what numbers you use. With a $10,000 account balance, I think you can get some pretty good returns on here. You can also learn a lot. Now, the strategies that are used here are options spread trading strategies. I don't know much about options trading. However, we do have a options trading course on InformedTrades.com. And if you're not familiar with options trading and the idea is interesting to you, you're looking at these returns, you're thinking, hey, this seems like something that I would like to do or like to learn more about. A good place to start would be the options trading course, because you want to actually have a solid understanding of the basics of placing options, some of the basic concepts, basic strategies. You want to have a solid understanding of that before you actually shell over money for a signal. You want to make sure that you have the basic information needed to actually implement that system. And I think if you review Tech's option course, 26 videos, you learn a lot there. That's free. Check that out. And then after that, if you're looking for or if that's elementary, obviously you can, if you're beyond that, obviously you could skip that or use that as a review. But if you're new, definitely I think check that out, participate, ask questions, and then you can sort of check out Tradespoon, which also has a free trial. There is also a stock trading component to it, but that's actually going to be much lower returns. The stock trading is generating 12.26% per trade, and again, that's not per trade relative to the account balance, but to the amount of you're risking. So 12.2% of the amount risked is the amount gained per trade. So the number, if you with options, you can get away with a smaller balance. If you're going to try Tradespoon with stocks, you're really going to need a balance of 25, 35. Really, probably I would say at least $40,000, maybe $50,000. Then you can get a really nice return with that. So I think the options trading program is a little more compelling. Of course, you have to put in the time to learn options. It can be a little more of a complex subject, but we have all that information, the basic material to get you started over on InformedTrades as well. Okay, that's about it. I just wanted to take a deep look at the math. That's obviously very important. From what I can gather from Jason's experience in sampling it, this seems like a pretty legit offering. I feel reasonably confident in saying that. Jason's going to talk a little bit more about the the actually educational component, what else you get when you sign up for this. I'll have some screenshots and you can sort of see what it's like on the inside. Let's go to that.
This is an InformedTrades.com product review of the membership options offered by Tradespoon.com, which is a stock and option recommendation service. What sort of website is Tradespoon? The primary feature of the service is a daily stock pick for the premium account, and they also provide an additional weekly pick for the elite account. These picks are derived from an algorithmic trading system, which is based on a variety of technical and fundamental factors. The website also has a variety of education and trading features that help users improve their trading and investment strategies while using the service. There are 22 premium level picks per month, each of which includes entry and exit levels and ratings of the risk-reward outlook and of the security's value and momentum, as well as a recommended options spread for the same security as the stock pick. So Tradespoon does offer a variety of different ways to invest in the recommended security. Their picks include a detailed analysis report, which has an account of the details and the history of the security's behavior and comparison to a competing company, as well as an account of what factors make it a good pick. And a lot of technical and fundamental information pertinent to the pick and the selected entry and exit levels. Tradespoon makes their picks through a proprietary algorithmic system that takes into account a huge number of variables, including long-run earnings per share growth, stock volatility, beta, and SPX correlation. The specifics of the order and the option spread are then determined by Tradespoon's analysis after the system picks the security. Tradespoon offers educational resources in tandem with the trade recommendations. This includes weekly articles, video analysis of the recommended trades, educational videos, and sign-up-only webinars that discuss stock and options trading strategies. Using the site, I found the articles and trade analysis videos were pretty interesting. They're directed towards more advanced traders, and there's a lot of content related to technical analysis rather than fundamental analysis, I guess, as befits an algorithmic service. And there is, without a doubt, a big stream of analysis, particularly of the picks that are coming out of the service, as well as a lot of reports on other stocks that Tradespoon is watching, considering as possible recommendations. And I found that this sort of content really made Tradespoon a learning experience rather than just a source for trade recommendations. As far as these educational options, the website includes the ability to place virtual trades through the site's general interface, which lets the user keep track of trades as though they had placed them with their own money for educational and practice purposes. And there's also a trade idea tool which recommends 5 different trades tailored to the financial criteria that you select, including investment type, time horizon, risk tolerance, and trend direction. The website offers also a deal with an associated trading broker, Trading Block, on a service which auto-trades the picks that Tradespoon makes with the user's own investment account with discounted fees compared to what you usually would pay for Trading Block services. This topic of Trading Block leads to our next question, which is who is behind Tradespoon? The company has been in business since mid-2012, and it's headed up by Vlad Karpel, who is a programmer who's been working on sophisticated algorithmic trading systems for about 15 years. He currently also serves as the director of IT at Trading Block, which is a reputable service. They were identified by Barron's as one of the best online brokers for 2013. And Tradespoon's option spreads are actually designed by Tim Bigham, who is Trading Block's chief market strategist. He's regularly featured on CNBC and Bloomberg TV. So even though Trading Block doesn't technically endorse the website, to some extent Tradespoon can be seen as a sort of spin-off of the Trading Block broker team, which offers a certain factor of credibility to the relatively new service. This reliability comes into question to some extent, though, as we look at our next question: is Tradespoon profitable? The website reports extremely high returns on their picks. They claim a 23% return on the daily options picks per trade, the premium daily picks, and almost 14% return on the daily stock picks per trade. The claimed returns are almost double for the relatively infrequent elite weekly picks, reported at almost 40% returns per trade on option spreads and stocks. At least during my weeks using a Tradespoon Elite account, these reported rates have correlated reliably to the performance of the recommended orders, and underperforming securities stayed on the performance report. However, the reported statistics for the Elite account, they only take into account a small time frame of picks since October 2013, whereas the less impressive data for the daily premium picks extends an additional year to December 2012, and it indicates a general overall trend towards less profitable picks in 2014. During my couple weeks using the service and over the 2 preceding weeks, the profit margin on closed out positions was more like 8%, which isn't actually too far below the reported rate for the premium stock picks. The premium service, including daily picks, is priced at $199 per quarter, whereas the Elite service with more carefully selected picks on a weekly basis is $299 per quarter. Both services do come with a satisfaction guarantee that allows the user to terminate the service at any time. So ultimately, Tradespoon is a fairly expensive service that's best suited to users who want the combination of guidance and freedom that comes from reviewing stock and option picks in order to select their own investments and develop their own trading strategies. So I would recommend the service to investors who are looking for help making picks, to stock traders who want professional support as they move into options trading, and for people who want to minimize the amount of time they spend on market research or analysis by just considering a pretty small range of picks. In terms of making back the cost of the service, it's recommended to have at least a $5,000 account of funds allotted towards following these picks, finding how to make the service work for you. Tradespoon is a sort of hybrid of a wealth management or portfolio construction service and a stock picking service, so it's best suited for someone who's looking for a little bit of both. Alright, this has been an InformedTrades review of the website Tradespoon.com. If you've got any questions or knowledge to share, come join us in our learning community at InformedTrades.com. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your trading.